Our riding is a jewel of British Columbia, towering forests, rolling vineyards, pristine lakes, and snow-capped peaks. But it's not just the landscape that makes it exceptional, it's the resources and our people. Gold in the Monashees, silver in the Slocan Valley, forestry in Lumbee and Cherryville, agriculture in the Okanagan, and tourism throughout. People who work hard, build communities, and believe that if government just gets out of the way, they'll get the job done. Our riding is a microcosm of Canada. Canada should be one of the most prosperous nations on earth. We are rich in resources, talent, and innovation. But, Mr. Speaker, we are not rich. Our people are struggling. Our natural resources are vast. Our people are willing. But liberal policies have stifled opportunity, burdened industry, and made prosperity feel out of reach for far too many. Let's call this what it is: a government that has lost faith in what built this country: work, resourcefulness, and the industries that sustain our towns. Small businesses are struggling, not because we lack potential, but because we're being held back. I know this firsthand. My own small trucking business cannot move material on bicycles or in electric cars. So the carbon tax simply means that I have to charge more and my customers have to pay more. That is the very definition of inflation, Mr. Speaker. The endless seas of paper we have to swim through, the red tape, the crippling taxation, they make it almost impossible for small business to get ahead. Yes. This Liberal government has made life harder for everyday Canadians. While Mr. Trudeau is gone, the architect of his economic disaster remains on the front bench across the aisle, and the brains behind it has taken his place. In fact, very little has changed, despite the Prime Minister's rhetoric to the contrary. Our last Liberal Prime Minister told Canadians that the budget will balance itself. Well, now we don't even have a budget.
Good point.
For the past 10 years, Ottawa hasn't just been in the way, it's been the problem. In Vernon Lake Country, Monashee, we see the consequences every single day. Forestry, once the backbone of communities like Lumbee and Cherryville, has been crippled by indecision and red tape. Sawmills are shuttered. Skilled workers are unemployed, not because the trees are gone, but because the political will is gone. In the Monashees, responsible mining projects with strong local support are stalled in endless federal reviews. While the world clamors for critical minerals, we're stuck in neutral. Many of our residents once worked up north in the oil fields and on our pipelines and then came home for the weekend because they could live in the beautiful Okanagan. But this Liberal government killed the Northern Gateway and Energy East pipelines and left us at the mercy of the American energy industry and government tariffs. Tourism operators, whether guiding hikes through forests or running lodges along our lakes, face rising costs, labor shortages, and a government more interested in lecturing than listening. And then there's agriculture. Our orchards, wineries, breweries, and distilleries are second to none. But ask any grower or small producer and they'll tell you the same thing. They're being taxed, regulated, and carbon priced out of business. These are family operations, and they have so much potential. They don't ask for subsidies, they ask for fairness. Instead of unleashing that potential, this Liberal government has spent a decade tying it up with bureaucracy, ideology, and economic self-sabotage. Mr. Speaker, this government has consistently treated prosperity like something to apologize for. I, for one, wholeheartedly reject that. But I didn't come here to dwell in frustration. I came here because I believe in a better way forward. Our Conservative vision is simple: less interference, more opportunity; less punishment, more prosperity; a government that respects hard work instead of penalizing it. We believe in unlocking Canada's potential. That means, number one, reviving our forestry sector with clear science-based regulations and the predictability that companies need to invest long-term. Number two, fast-tracking responsible resource projects, particularly those critical to global supply chains and local paychecks. Number three, cutting the red tape and tax burdens that are choking small farms, wineries, and craft producers. Finally, concentrate revenue on tangible infrastructure like safe highways, broadband for rural businesses, and upgraded safety, not on more giveaways, handouts, and social interference. Most of all, we believe that families, not Ottawa, know what's best for themselves. That means allowing parents to guide their own children and keep more of what they earn. Letting small business grow without fear of the next federal penalty, and helping communities shape their own future. Mr. Speaker, the people of Vernon Lake Country, Monashee, didn't send me here to manage decline. They sent me here to fight for growth and to restore faith in the promise of this country. This promise isn't abstract. It's a father back to work at a reopened sawmill. It's a young entrepreneur opening a craft cidery without drowning in federal paperwork. It's tourists returning to Silver Star and Shuswap with ease because infrastructure keeps up with demand. It's families paddling on a lake or sitting around a campfire because their town didn't become a victim of urban centralization. That's what I stand for. Not more Ottawa, not more empty rhetoric. I stand for a Canada that believes in itself again. Canadians are tired of government that spends more, delivers less, and tells them they should feel guilty for wanting to succeed. They are tired of watching opportunity pass them by while their leaders play it safe, hedge their bets, and avoid hard truths. As C.S. Lewis wrote, we all want progress. But progress means getting nearer to where you want to be. If you're on the wrong road, progress means turning around and walking back to the right road. Mr. Speaker, we are on the wrong road. It's time for a new approach. My riding and this country are ready to thrive again. I stand here today not as a cynic, but as a realist with hope. Hope that Canada can rise to meet this moment, that we can be a nation where prosperity is earned, not punished, where natural beauty is matched by economic strength, where we are proud of who we are, not apologizing for it. I want to make one thing clear to everyone listening in this chamber and across Canada, Mr. Speaker. I am not here to stoke division for its own sake. I'm here to help Canadians pull toward the best possible future, where every resource, every community, and every family has the freedom to flourish. To my Liberal friends in particular, Mr. Speaker, I invite them to set aside economic gaslighting and ideological double talk and join us in practical steps to restore Canada to its rightful place as a global leader in resource-rich prosperity. When they talk about us making us an energy superpower, let's follow it with actions to make it happen and not excuses about why it can't be done. Empty slogans are not enough. Pipelines are crucial. Work with us to rebuild the forestry sector so that forest workers no longer worry about their next paycheck. Collaborate on intelligent mining reforms that honors both the environment and the people who earn their living from the land. Above all, let us recognize that our differences are far smaller than our shared dreams. Whether one belongs to a small family restaurant in Lake Country or works for a forestry co-op in Cherryville, or yes, regardless of which party we belong to, every Canadian wants good schools, safe neighborhoods, and a stable community. Every Canadian wants to look their children in the eye and say that tomorrow will be better than today. Let's stop pretending and let's get to work to make that happen. Thank you.
Questions et commentaires, questions and comments. The member for Kings Hants.
Welcome the honourable member to this House and Vernon Lake Country. Beautiful area. I've had the chance to be there myself. Lots of good junior A hockey towns as well. I believe Salmon Arm may be close within his constituency, if not within it. The member talked a lot about agriculture, and I think that that's important, Mr. Speaker, representing an agricultural riding here in Atlantic, in my own home constituency in Atlantic Canada. I certainly know the value of that. I had the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to look up quickly on the Conservative platform that member just ran on, and very little mention of agriculture whatsoever. Nothing on business risk management, nothing on the agri-food sector, nothing on regulatory reform at CFIA or PMRA. Objectively, the Liberal platform was very comprehensive. It was endorsed by a number of major commodity groups. Will the member opposite commit to being a strong voice to tell his leader, Pierre Poilievre, to actually do more and commit to more in agriculture, because it certainly was lacking in the last platform?
The honourable member.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the honourable member for the question. The last Prime Minister used to say that the Liberals were working for the middle class. He used to answer almost every question with that promise. Thanks to that work, the middle class is on life support today after 10 years of this. It can barely pay its taxes. It can barely pay its mortgages. I shudder to think when the Liberal government now says that they're working to make us an energy superpower, how poor we're going to be if we have 10 more years of that. Government, I think, needs to get out of the way, Mr. Speaker, not stand in the way. If we want to help our farmers, let's remove the industrial gas tax. This is what is hurting farmers right now, more than anything else. They don't want handouts, they want a fair shake. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments? Questions et commentaires. Le député pour Pierre Boucher.
The honourable member for Pierre Boucher, les Patriotes Verts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleague for his speech, and I'd like to congratulate him on his election. I was listening to the throne speech, of course, last week, and I was concerned. I don't know if my colleague is also concerned about this. I was concerned that there was not going to be a government budget, but also I was concerned that this government seems to want to rush toward fossil fuels because it's talking about traditional energy, conventional energy. We know that that means fossil fuels. It talked about bulldozing the provinces, environmental assessment provinces, and just have the federal government doing it. So for me, when I see that, a government that has decided to completely abandon the fight against climate change and instead really dig in on fossil fuels, is my colleague not concerned about this?
Burden, Lake Country, Monash.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the honourable member for the question. We're all concerned about the environment. We all know that we need to make improvements and to work toward a clean energy future, and I have no doubt that eventually that will happen. What I am more concerned about is pretending that it's already happened and pretending that we have the capacity to do that. We cannot simply run our economy on fairy dust and hopes and dreams and technology that is not yet deployable, not yet mature. So reality suggests that we have to use fossil fuels for the foreseeable future while we transition into technologies that we may not even understand at this time.
Questions and comments? Questions et commentaires. The member for Winnipeg North.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's interesting. My colleague asked a question in regards to agriculture, and I think it was a good question. It highlighted the fact that during the last election, Pierre Poilievre made virtually no reference to it. Yet the member opposite talks about the importance of agriculture. Contrast the Liberal platform versus the Conservative platform, and I would suggest that the member should maybe reflect in terms of how it is that the Liberal Party outperformed the Conservatives on the agricultural file. And I'm wondering if he would provide his thoughts, not on criticizing the former Prime Minister, but rather comment and tell his constituents why it is the Conservative Party of Canada and Pierre Poilievre was outperformed by the Liberal Party and the current Prime Minister in the last election when it came to agriculture.
The honourable member.
Thank you from the honourable member from Winnipeg. I think the honourable member pointed out the exact problem. The Liberals made lots of promises, and this he considers outperforming. Well, I don't have to deal with the promises. I can look at the last 10 years from 2015 on. I mean, we don't have to look at. If we're talking about performance, performance is action, not promises. Liberals are famous for making promises and equally famous for breaking them. So when you say that you outperformed, when the honourable member says he outperformed the Conservatives, I would suggest that he is miscarried.
With that, I'll bring questions and comments to a close.